Hey folks, Rich here, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. Interesting video today. Um, I was looking through the 2024 Thorn catalog online the other day. Thorn's like the biggest bee supplier in Britain. And, you know, they get a lot of stuff from the continent that we don't see over here. I like to look through their catalog and see what's what. And they were putting a whole lot of energy, I guess you would put it, into describing their terrific new smoker that has a new feature on it, which was the heat shield extends down into this area so as to keep your smoker off of the table. And if you wonder, well, why that? Well, that's why that. I used to use this table out in the bee yard, and on a couple occasions, without thinking, I set it down on the table and had to go to pick it up because it was melting itself into the table. Uh, and that's why I got some aluminum tables to use out there. That was my solution to the problem. But neither here nor there. Get back to it. They were just all, look at this great new product. We are extending the cage down into this area. Well, when I looked at some of the 2024 catalogs for American beekeeping companies, there's 3 or 4 or 5 different smokers that all have basically the same feature, one design or another. It comes on down. Some of them curve under, some of them come straight down, but whatever, but they give you about yay much clearance. And it's like, okay. I had just done the videos on the wire cages. I have a whole bunch of odds and ends of rabbit wire sitting around. And I thought to myself, hey, I have got the key and most important tool for doing this, which is the hog ring pliers for setting hog rings to clamp things together. And I said, you know what? With this technology, and the pliers and the bag of clips is like $7 at Harbor Freight. But with this technology, I'll bet you I could do it myself. And I did. And I took it out there and I used it. I kind of had to wonder to myself. I started off by just putting it around here. And I was like, well, what's that going to do to the flat end back here? Is it going to be all tippy and all that? Let me just try it this way and then find out if that doesn't really work and whether I have to come back and take a larger piece and put it like this and bring it out so that it lines everything up out here. But let me just start with the smaller piece first. And guess what? It worked just fine. Extending this down to here so that now the bellows was sitting slightly up off the ground or off the level. It stayed nice and stable. There was no tippiness to it. Worked just great. So I've taken it off, and I'm going to show you how I put it on using the hognose rings. But before we get to that, one other interesting thing. It just happened the other day. I was watching a video by a guy telling you, don't get this kind of replacement bellows. He decided when his leather and wood bellows wore out that he'd get one of these fancy new all plastic silicon bellows. And he got it and he put it on his smoker, and his smoker started falling over left and right. And he found out it was because in his smoker was designed the way a lot of American smokers are made. You see these two little pieces right here? They actually come down and over so that they're out here, so that when you set your smoker down, it contacts these 2 points, and then it contacts your flat bellows in the back, and it gives you 3-point stability. Okay? I'm thinking whatever Chinese guy made this thought this was a decorative feature and just put it up here, and they didn't bother to do it right. That's my theory anyway. But he couldn't use that bellows because that bellows was not built straight across at the bottom. It was built with an arc. And so he had 2 points up here and 1 point back here, and it was kept falling over on him. So he had to go buy another ordinary bellows and put it on there. So that made it a little bit more important, but I just want to assure you that I didn't have any problem. Mind you, it's a 6-inch smoker. It's not a 9-inch or an 11-inch smoker, but with a 6-inch smoker, there was no problem with mounting this on here, giving myself a 3/4 inch space and going ahead and using it. So I'm going to put this back on, and I will be leaving it on the smoker because I like it this way. But here's how I did it. So I cut a piece of wire, 3 pieces long, leaving one end with them sticking out, okay, so that I had something to hook in. Oh, you want me to put it down there? Okay, so I can put it down here. So you're going to have to stay close up with me, dear, and follow along. These two are only there to space. This one is the one that's going to hook right underneath here, okay, and I'm going to tighten that in, and that's just to give me stability so that I can pull this around. Now, as it happened where this landed on mine, I had to cut one little piece right here, as you can see, so that I could get it around. There we go. Get it around there like that. It wouldn't quite work, and then the rest of it will be fine. But now for the next part. The important thing is these hognose rings, and we're going to start with this one right here. Make sure that you bend it so that you get it to pass each other. Okay.
I couldn't really see what you were doing.
Well, yeah, that's going to be a problem, I'm sure, to one extent or another. Maybe one of these others will be easier to see.
So you're putting whatever that is in the hognose pliers.
Well, it's the ring is the name for the thing. So I'm going to do this one over here. Maybe we can see this one a little better. You ready?
Yep.
Now, you don't have to leave it like that. You can tighten it up. Once it's like that, you can give it a couple of extra squeezes. You can go in if you have a tension problem. I don't really have one here, I don't think, but just pull that anyway. But you can see that's nice and strong. Now I'm just going to do this repeatedly because right now, as you can see, it's not level. I've got to get all of these set back up here. Maybe that when, remember this is I've had all this together before, so maybe this is not bending quite the way I want. Right now, it's kind of gotten tight. I'm afraid this one's gotten a little too tight. I'm not going to be able to start in the middle like that. All right. Because what I want is to be able to go around, give it a little squeeze. Oh, interesting. Somehow or other, things, I see. Things have spaced themselves slightly different so that now I'm going to have to snip a piece right here too to make that work right. No biggie. And the clickbait title I gave this one, turning a $25 smoker into a $50 smoker, is not really hyperbole because, oops, I missed. What happens when you don't have rehearsals? Because most all of the inexpensive smokers were flat bottoms, just like mine here. whether I say 25 or 15. I think this was a $15 smoker back in the day. But $25 smoker into 50, because all the ones that have a spacer on the bottom are a lot more money. And I don't know that there's any reason for it other than that. So, and I got to tell you, hognose pliers and rings, I use them for bungees all the time. If I need to anchor something with a bungee, I can make a loop around and pinch them on a bungee. And it is so much better than making a big knot. I don't know if you can catch that or not there, dear. It seems unlikely you can catch that one. Now, that's going to hold it this way, but I'm going to also put one through so that it goes from this corner across that corner. Yeah. Get it on the right side. Trying to let her get the shot, and at the same time, me get it on there might be more difficult than I know what to do with. So let me see. Okay, can I get that around there?
Which is that little shoulder right there.
Mm-hmm. But it keeps it in place. Now I can take it and I can tighten it down.
Looks like that's got it.
That's got it for over there. This looks like it's little. You see it used. I had it bent the same way there before, but this time seems to be need a little bit more. All right, it's not
level.
Not level where I need it to be level. This side needs one more clip.
How about if you clip it down here?
That's where I'm about to clip it, dear. Yes.
I'm so smart.
Yeah. Jeez. You're not normally very mechanical, so that had to be pretty simple.
Hey, I'm an engineer's daughter. Don't tell me that.
By engineer, she means a man who loved mansplaining things to her.
Mm.
Yeah, that's not as good as I was or had it before. I'm going to have to fiddle with this a little bit. What's happened here is at this point, okay. That's just not going to make it anymore. To get that where it needs to be, that's going to have to go. So, see that little bend up?
Mm-hmm.
But now I can clamp that in tight. Hold it right there, and then we should be good. It's just a fiddly thing. You work with it until you get it right.
It wouldn't be a real video if it worked perfectly the very first time.
Not one of our videos, anyway.
It still seems like it's a little on the wobbly side.
Yeah. There we go. Right about that one. Okay. Yep. Now it's good. There you go. And while you can tip it back, I did not find that to be a problem, just using it the way it's normally used. And it kept it up off of plastic items and such. Allowed me to put it down on things without too much trouble. This is not as good as it was the first time I did it before I took this piece off and put it back on, so that's just my problem, I guess. There we go. That's all it was the back corner got bent in. I bent the back corner out, and now it's stable again. All right, good deal. So there you go. You can turn a $15 and you can still get smokers for $15 on Amazon out of China, or up to $25 smoker, little piece of rabbit wire and a few hog rings, and you can put a spacer on there so that you can set it down on a plastic table for a few minutes, or a wooden table without it leaving a burn ring or anything like that, or put it down on the paint job of some of your hives without it scorching the paint. Thanks, everybody. Like and subscribe.